online on our CPOP portal, as well as go through our Checkpoint PO checklist on some information that's really vital to order processing and things that you need to have on your PO to prevent the order from going to pending, and then some contact information on where you can go when you have questions. So I'll go ahead and get started, but please feel free to stop me if you have any questions. We'll keep this really interactive as we go through. So just to begin, this is where you would log on to PartnerMap. And I wanted to kind of walk through placing an order on the CPOP portal. We seem to be getting a lot of questions on how to place an order, and we can definitely do more of a specialized training per partner if there's an interest for that. But this will be just kind of a general overview. So you'll log on to your PartnerMap account, and then you'll go to Sales and Knowledge tab here on the left-hand side. And once you've been added to have CPOP access, Checkpoint Online PO access, you should have a link down at the bottom that says Submit an Order. So we'll go ahead and click there. Hopefully everyone out there has access. If you need access and permission, definitely reach out to me after the session and we can get you set up. There we go. I'll just let it think for a second. All right, so once you hit Submit an Order, you'll be taken to our Checkpoint Online PO solution, the portal where you'll place your order. So all of our orders begin with an offer or a quote number. So this is just an example that I ran really quickly this morning. Ideally, when you're running a quote or when your Checkpoint sales rep is running a quote for you, all of the vital information will be added to the quote, and we pull from this quote into our portal, and all of this information will be reflected in your PO. We hope that during the quoting stage, all of the information is filled in, but for demonstrative purposes, I can't fill in quite everything on the quote that we generally like. But for example, things like the distributor, if there were a reseller involved, UC account, things like that would be filled in, as well as any additional discounts that were being taken. So here, I'll just walk you through just a couple of 3200s with services and support, as well as some 16200s, and then there's an accessory to be installed, and then premium support. So you'll take your quote number, and you'll copy that in, and we'll go to the portal again and just hit Create New Order. You're going to add that quote ID in and hit Retrieve. It'll take just a second for the system to pull up all of the information. And I'm going to go to there it is, just a demo account so that we can show you the details here. So once I've retrieved that quote number, all of the line items pulled in. So those appliances, that installed accessory, support and service, all of those informations will pull into the tool. Here you will pull in as your distributor, whatever account you're connected to will pull in here. If you're placing an order as an indirect distributor, there will be a section here to add for reseller. So just kind of imagine here. And then if you had used a quote that had a UC account listed here, that would also pull in here to the UC account section. If you're using one like I am that doesn't have one, or you'd like to change it, you can do so here as well. So you'll either create a new account here where you'll fill in all of the information for the customer, or you can search by doing change account, and you can just type in the UC account and search, or you can do by name as well. Down here under support and service dates, this will indicate when you'd like the support and service to begin. So for this quote, I just ran a 3-year deal for support and services. So you can go ahead and select the date that you want that to begin. It'll default to start today, or you can maybe, if you know that the customer is going to take about a month to receive, you can move it to January 8th instead. If there are co-term dates, you won't have the option. So let's say this quote was run for a specific amount of days, maybe 380 days for some reason to co-term to the UC renewal date, then those dates would pull in, and those would be locked in because that the pricing is reflected and calculated according to those dates. But if you're doing kind of a general 1 year, 2 year, 3 year term, you can go ahead and select the start date there. Over here on this side, this gives you a few quote details. So the quote ID number that you pulled in, this is indicating that this is a product quote. The support period that we selected here from January 8th, 2021 to 2024. The quote is valid for 30 days, so that's that date there, and the currency that we're using here. If you scroll down here, all those line items that we were talking about pulled in. Over here, if you notice, when I ran this quote, I hit the install paperclip in the product catalog, which indicated that on the quote, we want to install this Cybernic card. So that's going to issue the SKU on the quote as -install, and it'll also do the same here in the tool. So that indicates to our order management team that this accessory should be installed into the 16200s, and it also will be sent to our shipping team at our warehouse once the order is released for fulfillment, so that they can go ahead and do that work at the plant before shipping it out. Further down here, you'll have some more information. The support and service start dates that we set are over here under each line that it applies to, just kind of as a good reminder. And then over here under discounts, so because I'm not connected or using a real partner, those discounts are just pulling in as quote unquote default discounts for this account. But if you had run the quote like I did here with some additional NSP discounts, those should pull in. If for some reason they don't, it's really easy to update. You'll just add the discount in there, and then it'll apply and calculate and update itself. Over here, you'll see the running total. Moving down to the bottom, the CPOP tool is indicating, it's noticing that the discounts that I applied would require an NSP. So it's asking for that NSP number here. You can go ahead and plug that in at this point, and the system will kind of do some checks and validate that NSP. So this one's saying that the NSP is not found. It'll also say that it's valid, or that there are some issues with that NSP number, that it's not valid for this order. If for some reason you reach this stage and you're trying to process an order, place your PO and you don't have the NSP, you can still move forward. This is just kind of a warning sign that this is, we're going to require an NSP for the discounts that you've applied here. Over here under promo code, so again, ideally when your sales reps or when you are creating a quote for your deal, any promotional discounts will be added at the quoting stage. Let's say there's a trade-in involved or a special deal reg, like new customer deal reg situation that you're leveraging in this deal. Hopefully it will be done at the quoting stage. That way all of the pricing pulls in correctly. But if for some reason that wasn't done, you can just select the promo that you're using. So let's just say maybe a trade-in promotion. The problem is that it will not update the trade-in promotional discount. So you'll have to calculate that yourself. And I'll show you later on where you can kind of indicate that. But this is just to indicate for us that you are leveraging a promo. If there's a deal reg required, it will also flag that here, and you can enter that at that point. And the system will do the same. It'll validate that deal reg and let you know if the deal reg was not found, or if it's not approved yet, if it's still in review. And again, this is not something that's going to stop you from placing your order. It's just kind of a warning note for you that there are potential issues with the PO and that we'll have to review it. We'll require sales admin to further review. Once you see everything the way you like, all the pricing is correct, or the correct information has been entered, you'll go ahead and hit next. And here on step 2 is where we would do edit, shipping, and billing. So this is very important for hardware shipping orders. This is the only information that we go off of when shipping any hardware information. So it's imperative that the information entered is accurate. But here, the shipping address will default to whatever we have in our system. But of course, that will change deal by deal. You'll just hit change and go ahead and edit the shipping. All of the red asterisks obviously are required. Down here under shipping information, there's kind of a warning note here that warehouse locations can change occasionally due to unexpected terms. Sometimes there are stock issues at a certain warehouse where we expect to ship it. Like, for example, here we're expecting to ship this order partially from Taiwan and from Caswell, from Taiwan and Israel. If there are any extenuating circumstances that change that, logistics will adjust that and will ship according to whatever your default information is in our system. If you have any hard and fast limitations on a specific deal, you can also note that if you're seeing that it's populating to ship from Taiwan or Israel, and this customer can only accept shipments, for example, from the US, you can note that to us as well, and I'll show you as we go on. But the cool thing about this is that there's a little bit of visibility into where your hardware will ship from. So in this case, our quote had 2 different product lines, the 3200s and the 16200s. So they will be split to ship from separate warehouses. Some of our different product lines, sometimes they're housed in different warehouses, and they're also set to ship according to what's available in our system stock-wise, what's set by our logistics team. So if you click on view shipped items, you can kind of see a breakdown of what we expect from that quote to ship from this specific warehouse, which is kind of cool because previously you wouldn't be able to see this information up front. You would have to wait until the order was closed and fulfilled to see the details on this. So it's kind of cool that you're seeing where we expect to ship your hardware from. Over here, you would choose your shipping method. So this is just defaulted as Checkpoint Best Way, meaning Checkpoint will ship on our account and issue a freight charge on your billing invoice. This is kind of, I would say, probably the most usual way, but when you're logged into your own account, it'll be specified to your account details, and so the default shipping account used for whatever account you're using will pull in. So if you're, I don't know, let's say you're buying as Ingram and you normally use maybe a UPS account with us, and that's your default shipping method, it will pull in for you here. Otherwise, you can change it, of course. Every deal can be different. So you can just hit edit, and let's say maybe this specific deal needs to ship on the customer's FedEx account. You'll just select the courier, what method you'd like to ship it. So maybe it's FedEx International, and then you'd enter the account number here and any specific shipping instructions, contact information, things like that we would need to know. You can save here. And then again, over here on the right side, there's this second box that shows you that the other items from that quote will be shipping. We expect to ship it from our warehouse in Israel. Similarly, if you'd like to change, let's say this part coming from Taiwan, you're okay with shipping as Checkpoint Best Way, but this part coming from Israel, you need to select a different method. That's okay as well. You can do, maybe it's pick up by a freight forwarder. You would just leave your freight forwarder details in here and who to contact. all of that information and then hit save. It's really neat the way that you can see the split shipments, because then you can tailor really your the way you'd like to ship it per location. So that's a cool added value, I think. Any questions before I move on to step 3? All right, we'll hit next. And step 3 is check out, the final step. Up here on the right-hand corner, you'll see the total cost right now for this order, but you can also display the full order down here to show you those line items that we pulled in with that quote that we used. The number one thing here that you're going to want to add is your PO number. So let's say that we're adding our PO number, the PO date. So it'll default to today, but if for some reason you needed to use a different date, you could select that there. And then the account that I'm using is defaulted to net 30 terms, so that will pull in. If this specific deal has additional payment terms, let's say this specific deal is, I don't know, net 60 or net 90, you'll note that for us as well. You can't update the payment terms here, but you'll note it for us so that we can check on our side and apply it to the order before it's processed. If there's a customer PO number you need to note, you can also add that information here. If there's a need to split the invoices, you can toggle this button to split order, and it will allow you to indicate all the line items on your order and how you need them split. So we have a few partners that need all the hardware invoiced on one and all of the support and services invoiced on another invoice. So we can do that here. You would just indicate, let's say, whatever the PO number is, and kind of go down line by line. So we'll split that internally for you before the order is completed. What else? There we go. And then down here, confirmation email recipients. This is fairly new. It's a way that you can sort of CC additional contacts to show that the order was submitted. So once you hit submit, submit order, you will get a reply back email with all of the information that you've entered in the CPOP tool. So all of the discounts, the final total, all of the details that you've entered. And by adding confirmation email recipients, they will also be copied on that email. They will get a copy of that so that they can see that this PO was submitted with these details. So you can add up to 10 recipients, which is a nice feature. If maybe your sales rep is requesting to be included on that, you can do that here. Order comments. This is the number one spot for all of the details that you need to add to the order. So if you remember in step 1, we applied the trade-in promotion. For some reason, we couldn't, we got the quote and it was not a trade-in quote, but we're applying trade-in discounts. Whatever calculations you're using, whatever correct total you want to apply, you'll note that here in the order comments. Let's say maybe this order has special payment terms like we were talking about, and they're net 60. You can also note that here, net 60, and then your NSR number so that we can apply that on our side for the net 60 approval. Maybe this is a split payment order. You can also note that here. In step 2, when we were doing edit, shipping, and billing, we were talking about maybe you specifically need this order to ship from the US and you don't have the ability to select a plant, so you can request that here. Maybe you need the hardware. Just leave any comments here that are relevant, and we'll check those before we process the order. The order management team is trained. We actually can't, if there's anything written in the order comments, we're unable to close the order without somebody, a human being, actually reviewing those comments. We get a lot of questions about, you know, I want to submit this order, but there's there's still some details that are not quite right, or I'm applying a discount that I wasn't able to in the configure order stage, and my correct total is, I don't know, 5K less than this. How do I know that or I'm applying ACSP or something special, there's a special case with your order. How do I know that my order will not get processed at this total that I'm seeing? So the order comments, you have to write your details in the order comments, but once you place an order with order comments, there is no way that it'll be automatically processed. It will flag on our side that somebody has to review that information and make sure we're good to go before we completely process your order. So that's nice to know. And then down here, please notice the below warnings before submission. So these are the issues that the tool is finding with my order. I don't have a UC account. I'm missing customer PO confirmation, the NSP for those discounts. So those are things that will need further review. Again, they're just warnings. It's not going to stop you from submitting the order, but likely if you have yellow warning signs, then your order will likely end up in pending. So you want to make sure to resolve those. If you're going to go ahead and submit the order, make sure to resolve those right away, or best practice we suggest is that you have all those information before hitting submit. And then down here, I wanted to just point out this new checkbox. So I'm sure many partners have seen that there's an internal process needed for hardware, for actually all product orders over 500K. You may have seen us checking with the order will go to pending, and we'll check with you that you have a valid PO from the customer and that the configuration, should you see no foreseeable changes in the configuration that would result in a cancellation. This is just kind of a check done internally. It doesn't mean I've received a lot of questions on does that mean that we can't cancel at all? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that if there's an actual issue or there's a maybe somebody changes their mind and you do a partial cancellation, all of that is okay for legit reasons. We're just checking that it's that you have a valid PO from the customer and that there's nothing that you see that would result in a full order cancellation upfront. So instead of waiting for us to ask those questions, if you see this checkbox, you can go ahead and confirm, and we won't send that order to pending for that approval, at least. If you don't see this warning sign, then your specific order doesn't require this additional check. Like I said, this is only for orders above 500K. So I specifically ran a quote so that we could show that. If I ran a quote for a lot less or under that 500K threshold, then you wouldn't even see this checkbox right here. So the tool knows to only ask for orders above that threshold. So if you see this, go ahead and click the check mark, and then your order, that's one more thing that we won't have to check with you, and the order won't be sent to pending. So we're hoping that saves time on your end. We get a lot of questions from disties saying this is an urgent order, and it's being held up for this additional check. So if you go ahead and check the check mark box, then we won't need to check with you further. After all of that is squared away and you're ready to submit your order, you'll just hit submit order. On the following page, you'll get a confirmation with an SO number, a sales order number that has been created in our system, and you'll be able to track that right away. Obviously, it'll take a little bit of time, a couple of hours for it to be closed, but you'll have a real sales order to be able to track in the system and to provide to the sales rep and what have you. One other thing I did want to point out here is if you run into any issues while submitting your order, if you hit contact us here, you can send a note to any comments that get sent to contact us here, get sent to the CPOP tool manager, as well as some internal development team people, some guys in MIS, some team leads in order management, as well as some shift leads and team leads in the sales admin team. So we kind of have some key people there from around the spectrum that might be able to help if you're seeing sort of like a system issue, or you have a question about how to process something, or a processing question. Your email will kind of get to the key contacts that hopefully will be able to help you resolve right away. Those people are also asked to reply to those emails immediately, because we realize that when you're placing your order and you have a question, it's probably time sensitive. So those emails that come in from here are flagged as higher priority. But of course, if there's anything critical, you can always reach out to the sales admin team and open a ticket with the sales admin team. We should be able to help you, or me personally, I would be happy to help with any submission issues or questions on CPOP. Any questions on submitting an order through CPOP? Any there's a question, how far in the future can the partner set support dates? And can any partner use the CPOP tool? So the first question, very good question. Checkpoint guideline is that, let's go back to step 1. Here. The question's referring to the support and service start dates. So if we use this button here in the calendar, we can select whatever day we want to start the support and services. So let's say the quote was run today and we want to start support and services February 10th. So Checkpoint policy is that we have a 60-day grace period. We allow support and services to start up to 60 days in the past or in the future. In the future is usually more common, but sometimes there's a need to start it in the past. Sometimes there's a special situation with the customer. And our reasoning for that is that we want to start the clock on support and service dates as soon as possible, but we do also understand that there's, you know, some installation and shipping delays that may occur. Sometimes things need to clear customs and reach different countries. And sometimes there are professional services involved that need to set up and actually install the hardware. There are many things that can occur. So we give a 60-day grace period. So you can feel free to select any date, but the tool is able to validate those 60 days. So I'm placing the order today, December 8th, and up to 60 days would be February 8th, and the tool is telling us that this date is outside of those 60-day policies. Again, it'll allow you to move forward. However, this is a potential pending issue. This is something that order management is going to have to review. There are certain cases, obviously, where there are allowances made. There are certain processes, if you need more than that 60 days, that we can seek approval for. But this is just kind of a warning sign that, hey, this is kind of outside Checkpoint policy and we're going to have to review further. But yeah, that's 60 days would be the general guideline. And then the second part was, that's a two-part question. Can any partner use the CPOP tool? So you have to be granted access. There are some partners that, so if you're an EDI partner, you won't use the CPOP tool at all because your POs are submitted business to business directly through your system. But if you're outside of EDI, which is only a handful, all of our partners are submitting on CPOP outside of EDI. Which contacts at each partner can submit varies. It depends on the purchasing teams and the buyers and the management. We have some smaller direct resellers that place orders on CPOP, and everybody in their company has access. And we have some larger direct resellers and disties where only a specific team handles Checkpoint, so only those specific people can submit orders on CPOP. So we can tailor however business needs flow for your company. We can tailor access that way. but you do have to be set up initially. And we can help you with that, absolutely. You can reach out to me if someone on your team is, if you onboarded somebody new and you need to add them, and it takes a couple of days turnaround. It's just setting permissions in our system with our systems team. Potentially everybody can, but not everybody is given access up front. If hopefully that helps answer the question. Okay. If there are any other questions that arise about online PO ordering, please let me know. But I did want to point out another tool ahead of end of quarter here. So if you hit Sales and Knowledge tab and you go down to the ordering section, here you can find a lot of resources for order processing and a lot of shipping information, a lot of really good information on placing your PO. But the number one thing that I think gets overlooked is our PO checklist. So here under placing an order, there's a link called PO checklist. And if you click on that, it brings up this kind of PDF form that is a really good tool, especially for newer team members. It's a good tool for everybody, but especially as a training tool for newer team members that are placing orders. It kind of just gives a rundown on all of the things that we require on our PO, things that will help prevent your order from going to pending if you make sure to include. So just quickly, we'll run through it and see if there are any questions. So a user center, of course, is required for all orders. And if you don't have a user center and you need us to create one, making sure that you include all of the information. So in the CPOP tool, there's that. Go back just really quickly. There's that link where you can create your user center account directly through the CPOP tool. So if you don't have one, you can go ahead and create one there. So you will need the end user name, country and zip code, email address of the contact in order to create one, but a user center is required for all orders. If you're placing an order with a reseller, the reseller details are also needed, and that the ID and the star level discounting that you're using matches to what you're placing your order. A quote and offer ID is needed. So especially when placing your order on the CPOP tool, that's the quote or the offer ID number is vital. That's the number one step, as you saw. You can't even begin an order without one. So making sure you have that readily available. Deal registration for orders over 20K, or if you're leveraging a special promo like free appliance or new customer, etc. And making sure that you're checking that the deal registration is approved for new order placement. Also an NSP, if you're leveraging discounts outside of default discounting is required. Things like the shipping address. When we have a shipping order, we require the full and complete address, as well as a contact name, an email address, and a phone number. So all of those things are required in order for us to create the shipment in like the FedEx and DHL systems. So making sure you include that in your PO. Special payment terms approval, if it's a split payment order or maybe extended payment terms, making sure you have that non-standard request, the NSR number, and that you've worked for approval with our collections team. So making sure that that's all squared away ahead of time. Down here under the support section, we have some disties that split orders, so they'll need hardware placed on one, and then they'll, in their system, due to their system limitations, they'll need to split the related support off to another order. So if you're placing an order for just the support and you've already placed the order for the hardware, making sure that you're referencing that so that we can connect the two on our side. If you're just adding on support to existing products that the partner already has, maybe the CKs or MACs that we need to apply it to, the start and end dates, making sure that CCSP partner is indicated. So if you're placing an order for collaborative support in our CPOP tool, it'll prompt you to select the CCSP partner, and it'll also validate to make sure that it's an approved partner. But making sure that you have that readily available. Sometimes we receive orders on CPOP and whoever submits them doesn't click the CCSP, so it comes up blank on our side and it'll end up in pending. We see a lot of orders for missing site address, so making sure that you're entering that. Again, when you're ordering in the CPOP tool, the tool will know that you're placing an order for on-site and it'll prompt you to add that site address, making sure you fill that out accurately so that we can place your order. Sometimes that's left blank. Any account rates not as relevant if you're using the quote, that'll all be built into the quote. And then making sure you have accurate shipping information. So like we reviewed in CPOP, the account number, the method that you're using, any specific contacts, if it's a pickup by freight forwarder, etc. So this is a really good tool to review when you're placing your orders to make sure that you have all of the information that you're going to need to submit the order, and it'll help you walk through CPOP very seamless. I mean, it's pretty user-friendly as it is, but this will make sure that you have, if you're using this checklist, you'll have everything you need and you'll be good to go. Any questions on that? Okay, and then just a quick kind of point out I wanted to show. So back in the Partner Map portal, if you go to My Checkpoint on the right side, under My Accounts, there's this link here called Track Orders. So we get a lot of questions on where they can, where reps and where disties can kind of find information on the status of their orders. If you select Track Orders, you'll be able to, you'll be able to see information. So bear with me because I have to use an internal. I can't show you a real live account, but just for demonstrative purposes, you'll be able to see a lot of information on orders that were placed. So if you remember back in CPOP, once you finish the third step and you submit your order, the next screen will give you a sales order number immediately. It means that it's been created in our system and it's being worked on. That sales order number, you can go back to Track Orders immediately and you'll be able to plug that in and search it here in the Track Orders tool. There won't be much information right away, but it's a nice it's an added value. You'll be able to see it here in the tool, and you'll be able to follow up on status. So ideally, you'll see a list of a lot of orders, hopefully. You can search by purchase order number, sales order number. It'll also give you the order date, the total, all of this information. And then over here, it'll give you order status. So it'll tell you that it's in process or in process to be invoiced. In process to be invoiced usually means that it's a hardware order and that it's, well, no. In process to be invoiced means that it's been completed in our system. If it's a hardware order, it has been released to our warehouse for fulfillment. If it's a software order, it's just waiting for invoicing to create the invoice. If it's a hardware order, you'll also have some shipment status information here. Maybe it's being fulfilled, it's in fulfillment, or maybe it's shipped. If it's shipped, there will also be some tracking information. So you'll be able to click into the sales order number and see all those details. Just wanted to make sure that everyone knew where they could find that. So again, it's under My Checkpoint and under Track Orders. All right, and then finally, I wanted to go over just some quick contact information. So we're available, obviously, whenever you have any post-sales questions or need any help, need any CPOP help. Of course, reach out to our team, open a ticket to the sales admin team, and we'll be able to assist. There are two ways you can submit a ticket or open a ticket. You can email us at sa_support@checkpoint.com. You can also open a ticket under the sales admin support requests in Partner Map. If you go to the support tab under sales admin support requests and then fill out a small form and hit submit. That'll create a ticket as well. Some other relevant teams, especially during end of quarter season, I've listed out here for your reference. So first, logistics team, you can go to them for large quantity orders or product lead times, or approval for end of sale products that are no longer listed in our product catalog. If there's a large quantity order that you're working on, it's always best practice to just notify the logistics team to make sure that they are allocating correctly and they have a heads up. Or if there's a specific special deal and you need to know product lead times, you can always reach out to availability@checkpoint.com. Order management for PO submission. So hopefully all orders are being submitted on that CPOP tool on PartnerMap, but if there's a special case, there are a handful of special cases that need to be submitted manually, or if maybe your system's down and it's an urgent order that you need to submit manually as well, you can always email it to us the old-fashioned way and submit a PDF, and we'll go ahead and process it for you. So those are the two contacts for US orders. You would submit to orderus@checkpoint.com. Just to note that these two inboxes are not monitored for replies. It's really just for PO submission. So if you have any questions on orders, you should reach out to sales admin team at the SA support@checkpoint.com and create a ticket. Because these two inboxes are just only to drop in POs for order management to enter in our system. Account services for any licensing issues or UC account inquiries, any changes that need to be made to the details of a UC account, any move requests need to be done in conjunction with account services team. That they're the ones that specialize in that. You can create a ticket in PartnerMap as well through your UC account, but there's also a dial-in number that you can leverage if you need to reach out to them. And then the credit collections team for finance, billing, or invoice issues, you can submit requests on Salesforce, and you'll need to work with your sales rep for that, for special payment terms approvals. You don't need to email them for it, but if you need guidance or have questions on policies, obviously you can definitely reach out to them through their aliases. Any questions on specific invoice issues or any finance related questions, you can reach out to them. So the Americas team is, you can contact them at credit-collections@checkpoint.com. Any other questions that I can help answer? Anything that I went over, anything that I maybe didn't go over that you need help with? All right, well, thank you all for joining. If any questions arise, feel free to reach out to us at the sales admin team, and we'd be happy to help. We're gearing up for the end of the quarter, end of the year. We're all excited. We're already seeing an influx in the order volume, so hopefully it'll be a strong and smooth quarter for us all. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Let me know. And again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have a good day.
Thank you so much, RC, for hosting our webinar. We're going to go ahead and send out the recording link later on today, so you guys will have that and you can forward that to any team members who might have missed this or to refer back to. And also don't forget to log this webinar as a training activity in your Engage app. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.